Let's talk about money, specifically that $20 bill in your wallet. Ever notice it says Federal Reserve Note? What's it really worth? You might say $20, but that's only half the story. Decades ago, it was backed by gold. Today, it's backed by trust. Just because the government says so, and everyone else goes along. This is called fiat currency. It has value because we all agree it does. The US dollar is the world's heavyweight currency, used for oil, global trade, and held by other countries. Yet, most of us have no idea how it actually works. The system is intentionally complex, managed by an institution that sounds governmental but isn't really. It's a magic trick. You see the result, but the mechanics are hidden. So, let's pull back the curtain and see how the financial sausage is made. Because this affects your savings, your job, and your future. And it all starts with an organization that's federal in name only. Who controls the money? Most people guess the government or Treasury, but the real answer is the Federal Reserve, the Fed. The Fed is America's central bank, managing the money supply and setting interest rates. It's not a typical government agency. It's a hybrid created by Congress but operating independently. Its decisions, made behind closed doors, impact your loans, mortgages, and credit cards more than most laws. The Fed has a board of governors in D.C. and 12 regional banks, which are actually owned by commercial banks. That's right. The banks the Fed regulates are also its shareholders. This setup blurs the line between public good and private profit. While politicians argue on TV, the Fed quietly makes the real decisions about your money. They're the wizards behind the curtain, with enormous power and little direct accountability. If dollars aren't backed by gold, and the Fed isn't just printing cash, where does new money come from? Most money isn't physical. It's digital, just numbers on a screen. Here's the wild part. Regular banks create most of it. Every time a bank issues a loan, it creates new money out of thin air. This is called fractional reserve banking. Banks keep a small fraction of deposits and lend out the rest. For example, you deposit $1,000. The bank keeps $100, lends $900 to Bob, and poof, there's now $1,800 in the system. Bob spends his $900, it gets redeposited, and the process repeats, multiplying money throughout the economy. Almost every dollar except physical cash started as a loan. Our economy is built on debt. Money is debt, and debt is money. It's a system powered by IOUs. The more loans, the more money exists. When loans are paid off and not replaced, money disappears. Let that sink in. Banks create money by lending, so the economy grows when people borrow. When optimism is high, loans increase, money supply grows, and everyone feels richer. But when fear hits, like in a recession, borrowing stops, loans are repaid, and money vanishes. This shrinking money supply is called deflation, and it terrifies the Fed. That's why, in crises, the Fed uses quantitative easing, digitally creating money to buy assets from banks, flooding them with cash to encourage lending. The system needs constant new debt to keep growing. If that flow stops, the system breaks. When it's about to break, the Fed can create trillions with a few keystrokes. It's not a conspiracy, it's just how the system works. The whole thing runs on confidence and the belief that the numbers are real. Why does the world trust this fragile, debt-based system? Because of dollar dominance. Since W1, the US dollar has been the world's reserve currency. Central banks everywhere hold it as their safest asset. This gives the US an exorbitant privilege. We can buy from other countries simply by creating more dollars. Other countries can't do this without crashing their currency, but global demand for dollars keeps ours strong. Oil and other commodities are priced in dollars, so countries must hold dollars to trade. The dollar's strength is backed by America's economic size, stability, and military power. The euro and Chinese yuan have tried to compete, but neither has replaced the dollar. The more the world uses dollars, the more stable it becomes, a self-reinforcing loop. This lets the US run huge deficits and debts without the usual consequences. We're playing global finance on easy mode. Everyone else is on hard. That's the power of the dollar. The US national debt is over $30 trillion, a terrifying number for most countries. But because we borrow in our own currency, the rules are different. The US can't technically go bankrupt. If needed, the Fed can create money to pay debts. It's like paying your credit card with money you print yourself. The debt is real, but it's not an immediate crisis. Much of it is owned by Americans, but foreign countries like China and Japan hold a lot too. If China dumped its US bonds, it would hurt itself as much as us, mutually assured financial destruction. The real risk isn't sudden collapse, but a slow, creeping problem. The US keeps rolling over debt, and as long as the world wants dollars, the cycle continues. The danger is subtle. It shows up in your grocery bill, not in a dramatic default. The debt is a chronic condition, not a heart attack. If the US can print money to pay bills, what's the catch? Inflation. Inflation erodes your money's value. It's why things cost more every year. When the money supply grows faster than the economy, prices rise. More dollars chasing the same goods means each dollar buys less. Creating trillions dilutes everyone's savings, a hidden tax. The real risk isn't sudden collapse, but a slow loss of the dollar's global status. If the world loses faith, demand for dollars drops and inflation spikes. This wouldn't happen overnight. It would be a gradual decline. If the dollar loses its exorbitant privilege, the US would finally face the consequences of its debts. We'd have to live within our means, and standards of living would fall. The greatest risk is a long, painful whimper, not a bang. That's the true danger of inflation. So, what does all this mean for you? Everything. This system shapes your financial reality, your savings, your job, your future. If your savings earn less than inflation, you're losing money every year. The system punishes savers and rewards debtors and investors. You're forced to take risks just to keep up. The Fed's interest rate moves create booms and busts, affecting jobs and wages. Asset owners benefit most when new money is created, widening inequality. Inflation hits hardest for those with fixed incomes. Understanding this isn't cynicism, it's survival. The system transfers wealth upward by design. So where does this leave us? We have a currency backed by nothing but trust, created as debt, managed by a powerful, mostly unaccountable institution. This system gives the US immense power, but at the cost of inflation and inequality. It's not a conspiracy, just a bizarre, evolved machine running on momentum. No one's fully in control. Everyone's just reacting. The manual is written in code, and most of us are guessing. The future is uncertain. Can the US keep its privilege as the world changes? But you're a participant, whether you like it or not. Every dollar you earn, save, or spend is a vote of confidence in this system. The dollar's value is belief, shared faith that it'll be worth something tomorrow. That's the real secret. The empire is built on trust, and trust alone.